Which players are you building your DFS lineups around tonight on this 5-game slate?
All right, so who's the center that you want to build around tonight? Talk to me, Garion.
I'm going to go with Jonas Valanciunas. There's still a lot we have to figure out about what exactly this Pelicans team is going to look like tonight. Both Brandon Ingram and Devontae Graham are questionable. Those are the guys who rank first and second on the Pelicans in usage rate. So obviously there could be a situation where a lot of Pelicans are just very viable DFS plays, but Valanciunas has averaged 1.6 DraftKings points per minute when those two guys have been off the court. And even if they do end up playing, this is someone averaging 20 points per game who has the 5th highest total rebounding rate in the NBA. He's really just been feasting, as he should be, with Zion Williamson on the sideline. So I actually think maybe the most crucial part or piece of injury news on this slate as it pertains to Valanciunas is the status of DeAndre Ayton. Because if Ayton cannot play through his own questionable tag tonight, I don't know who the Suns can throw at Valanciunas to stop him in the paint. So I think at $80,000 or $8,500, he's a very, very nice piece.
All right, Kenny, which center are you building around?
I'm going to go with Anthony Davis at $9,700. You know, the Houston Rockets rank 3rd worst in field goal percentage allowed inside of 10 feet. And of course, we have injury reports. We have Davis and LeBron James on the injury report almost every single game. So it's hard to tell if LeBron's really dealing with an injury. He tweeted last night that he was just so excited to hoop tonight. But look, I mean, this is a guy that is clearly taking it easy in the early going, right? The Lakers want to manage him for the postseason, looking at what happened last year when he got hurt. So I do think that perhaps Davis could get a similar usage rate to the ones that he saw in the middle of the season or in games 5 and 6 when LeBron James was not out there. And he has been quiet lately, but he's shown you already this season that he's capable of the big game. Houston's also 16th in rebounding rate. They're not the best inside, and so I think that Davis can eat down there, and the Lakers would also be wise to do that considering they have no shooting. If Frank Vogel is listening, you don't have anyone who can shoot threes, so you should probably just give the ball to Anthony Davis, and I think that he's a pretty high upside play on this slate.
All right, talk to me about the center that you are building around, Ryan.
I like that Kenny mentioned that LeBron tweet. That's super interesting. He's excited to play a random regular season game, the 7th game of the season. Something to look
Strange.
into. But yeah, but center, Garion talked about it. JaVale McGee is a guy that they can throw against Valanciunas, and that's my guy. $3,400 tonight, super cheap. This is if Ayton is out, so I'm going to keep an eye on that. He hurt his leg, I guess, last game. Didn't look great after that, but a DKP points per minute monster. He had 18 points in 18 minutes last game, 20.8 DraftKings points in 14 minutes. 16.5 DKP in 11 minutes. On the season, in every 5 games that he's been in, he's scored more DraftKings points than minutes played. So he's a monster when it comes to that. And if he gets the workload, I see his floor being 30 DraftKings points tonight. So I love JaVale McGee at that cheap price.
Kenny, which forward is the best play?
I think it's going to be Jimmy Butler. I think this guy is hotter than almost anybody in the league. He's going to face some weaker defenders on the Dallas Mavericks on the outside. And when you look at his upside on this slate, I think it's pretty massive with an average of over 50 DraftKings fantasy points over the last 4 games. He has logged big minutes in 2 of those. I think as long as they want to keep him on the floor, I think this is going to be also a pretty close game. The spread right now is very, very close. I believe the Miami Heat are 2.5-point favorites. So I think that you can expect Jimmy Butler to stay on the floor here. And another thing, which is why I like the Heat in general tonight, is the Dallas Mavericks have really struggled defending inside. One of the more poor teams defending inside of 10 feet. Jimmy Butler, of course, one of the best slashers we have in the league. I think that he can get to the bucket and score and really score for your fantasy team tonight with, again, another performance of 50-plus fantasy points. I think it's just hard to go wrong with this guy. And he's also only $9,100, which is a really good price. I mean, I think that 6-7x is on the table here.
Yeah, consistently producing at that half-century mark there in the fantasy points department over the past 4 games. Ryan, what about you, dude? Which forward do you like?
Yeah, Jimmy was mine too. He's on fire and doesn't seem to be stoppable. But I'll go with a backup option I had at forward, and this is value also due to injury. But Josh Hart is getting back into the swing of things. $4,900, which is super cheap. Brandon Ingram is hurt with a hip. Did not look great last game. So even if he is in, I would expect him to not get the minutes that he's used to. 29.5 DraftKings points in 30 minutes last game against the Knicks, who play slow and pace basketball. Only took 8 shots. I think that goes up if Ingram is out, and I think he's one of the best rebounding guards in the entire league. He's very active on the play.
All right, Gare Bear.
Well, I'm here to talk about something we all know pretty well, an Antetokounmpo chalk night, except it's not the Antetokounmpo you're thinking about. It's Thanasis. You kind of have to play Thanasis tonight at $3,100. There is no one healthy on the Bucks right now, and even the guys that we expect to be active in this game, someone like Bobby Portis, he's still on a minutes restriction, so they kind of have to play the older Antetokounmpo brother 30 to 35 minutes tonight, and we saw that play out in their loss to the Jazz on Sunday. He played 32 minutes. He had 31 DraftKings points because he collected 9 rebounds. He scored 10 points. He actually took the second most amount of field goal attempts on the team. That's how desperate the Bucks are right now for just anyone to play alongside Giannis. So $3,100. I'm not saying you're going to shock anybody by putting Thanasis in your lineup. He's going to be very popular tonight, but I think he's chalk you have to eat.
All right, which guard are you going to be building around, Ryan? You could go Doncic for $11,100.
Yes.
I am all over what Garion just said. I think tonight is going to be about stacking the correct Milwaukee Bucks. So I'm starting Grayson Allen, and I'm building around him to afford value elsewhere. $4,800 versus Detroit, who normally would be a blowout warning, but because they're so depleted, Grayson Allen, guys like George Hill, Pat Connaughton, you're going to want to stack the right ones. Middleton, Holiday out just like last game. And Grayson Allen was kind of the primary ball handler down the stretch of that last game against the Jazz. 5 for 10 from 3 and handled the ball in a lot of sets. So I like Grayson Allen at $4,800.
All right, Garion, which guard do you like?
Yeah, let's stick with value plays and let's stick in that same game, although we can talk about the Pistons for a second. Cade Cunningham, $3,600. I don't really know what the sort of minutes leash is on Cunningham, though I assume he probably gets a couple more minutes than the 19 he played in his NBA debut on Saturday. So we're probably looking at like 21 to 24 minutes for Cunningham tonight, but he carried a usage rate well above 20% in that contest, grabbed 7 rebounds, had 2 assists in those 19 minutes. He just happened to shoot 1 of 8 from the field and 0 of 5 from 3-point range. If he has that same role and a little teeny tiny bit of positive regression hits on his shot, I just think he's someone who could be looking at 7x, 8x value tonight, considering what his price point is. And as we know, these rookies graduate from this pricing tier very quickly. Like Evan Mobley, Scotty Barnes, they're basically $7,000 every slate now. Cade Cunningham will not be $3,600 much longer, so I'm going to take advantage while I still can.
Kenny, you sticking with the value theme at guard?
I mean, I think I have to just make a few value picks here before I talk about my high-priced guard, because apparently I'm a penny packer right now, spending all this money. I do like George Hill. The guys mentioned how Milwaukee is depleted. I mean, $3,800 is a really good price. They seem to really trust him with the ball, and he should see over 30 minutes for a very depleted team. And also, if LeBron James somehow doesn't play, even though he's super excited to play the Houston Rockets, I think that Malik Monk at $3,400 makes a whole lot of sense. He's going to be one of the chalkier options on the slate, and of course, you can't go wrong with Thanasis. But I'm going to talk about Donovan Mitchell here for just a few seconds. $8,800. He's going up against a Kings defense that's still bad, ranking in the bottom 6 of the league in defensive efficiency. And when you look at the way that he's heated up with his 3-point shot, he had 4 threes in his last game. I think that the 3-point shot could define his night tonight. He's starting to shoot it a lot better. And he's a guy that has over 1.2 DraftKings fantasy points per minute this year. He's a really great performer, a really steady guy for the Utah Jazz. And I think tonight, in a really soft matchup, he should, even if it's 3.5 quarters, get it done and help blow out the Sacramento Kings.
All right, guys, we got less than 2 minutes to go in the show. We'll wrap it up with this. Garion, which bet on the DK Sportsbook are you looking to build your bankroll with?
I'm going to take the Heat as a road favorite. You're just looking at a team that right now has the best net rating in basketball by a wide margin, going up against a Mavericks squad that is being outscored by 4.4 points per 100 possessions. They're not really all that good. The Heat are amazing, and I think Bam Adebayo did practice yesterday. He's probably trending towards playing tonight, and if he does, I think -2.5 is a steal for the Heat.
All right, Kenny.
Yeah, not that it matters, but Kristaps Porzingis is questionable for that game, and I'm with Gary, and I love the Heat minus 135. I love that we're calling these bankroll building bets now, and really, Miami should eat down low. Dallas, one of the worst defenses in the league inside of 10 feet. They've got Jimmy Butler and potentially Bam Adebayo as well to score down there and dominate on the glass against a very weak front court for Dallas. So give me Miami minus 135 on the money line.
Rye guy.
I like Donovan Mitchell under 27.5 points. I think that there's a little rivalry brewing with like his mini-me or his little clone, Davion Mitchell, who's literally getting the nickname Off Night because of that game where he caused chaos for Donovan Mitchell. Last time he played, he shot 9 for 25. I think that there's something there. I'm a narrative guy. I think he's under 27.5.